Hey, what's going on, guys? It's 5 and 5, and this is part 2 of Fastest Tactics on Riese. As you can see right now, I have a chart I made, and this chart is all the strategies I tested on Riese. Since in my last video, I claimed a strategy to be the fastest, when it's really not. As you see in the chart, there's a few strategies that are faster than what I claimed last video. This video is going to be talking about the top three strategies that I think are the best to use on this map. Since all three strategies are about the same speed, it's kind of hard to pick and say which one is actually the fastest. So let's get into the first strategy. The first strategy is the Phoris strategy, the one I said last video, but with Wonder Waffle. So it's the exact same strategy, except for you use a Wonder Waffle every time you pull the trap. What this does is, instead of killing one horde and a half with a trap, you get a full 2 hordes. Since what happens after you kill the first horde, half the zombies spawn on the other side of the trap, then kill themselves again. But the other half spawns with you. And normally you just run them around and not kill them until the next trap. But with this method, you kill that horde with the Wonder Waffle. And then they respawn in those 3 windows before you leave. So it's still just as safe, and it just goes faster. The only problem is you're using a Wonder Waffle every time you pull a trap. So you're definitely going to run out of Wonder Waffle in the high rounds and have to trade it out quite often. It's the major con to this strategy. Otherwise, it's very safe and quite fast. But yeah, that's enough of that strategy. Let's move on to the next strategy. This is a strategy I invented a while back for a solo game. The only thing is I died at, I can't remember which round I died at, but I died using it, and from then on I just kind of disregarded it, saying it was a terrible strat, I should never use it. But after doing all this testing, I did realize that this strat may be the fastest if you're going for like a 99, since this strat does not need any Wonder Waffle whatsoever, so no trading in the high rounds, and is only about a second, maybe a second and a half slower than all the strats that require Wonder Waffle every single trap. As you see in the video, this strategy uses the C trap a lot, the power trap. This trap is pretty much pulled as soon as it recharges every time, which makes this strategy quite fast. And I should say, the strategy is basically just based on the Pishizor strat, but just made quite a bit faster, about 7 seconds faster per horde. It is definitely not as safe, not even close to as safe, but in co-op it should work extremely well. For solo, maybe not so much, but this series is all about co-op. I'm just testing strategies in solo because it's faster and easier. Anyways, as you see right here, I get to the trap right as it recharges, and this will happen again when I drop, as you saw before it happened as I drop down. Then I run to the spawn just like the Pishizor strat, get them all to spawn in here, then pull the Tommy trap. That's how it would work. Anyways, to the last strategy. This strategy would definitely not work in solo, but in co-op, if you have a guy repairing the 2 windows right outside of this trap, as you'll see, where the zombies come from, and then running straight to Tommy to be the safety player, it should work extremely well. This would be the fastest way to use 2 traps and the Tommy room, since running all the way to the trench gun trap is quite slow actually. This is the closest trap you can get to the Tommy room, as well as it's very fast to get back to the Tommy room. So if you weren't going to do the Phoris strat, you want to use more traps, you want to save Wonder Waffle ammo, this would I would say be the strat to use. But it really wouldn't work very well in solo, because you have to kind of train in that little area there, which you may die in. But in co-op, if you both jump through the trap at the same time and go through different doors after the blue player has repaired the window so you won't get trapped, honestly I think this would be the most effective strategy for this map. But it's not fully tested in co-op, and you don't really know until you test it out. So those are the top 3. There's also the 4th strat, which is about the same speed as all those strategies, but it's much more risky. It's the triple trap strat, recommended by Horde Kill Repeat. The problem with this strategy is you don't kill a nice horde when going into the Tommy room. And the reason the Tommy room works is if you kill a horde altogether, as I said in the Phoris strat, it dies, respawns half in the Thompson, half on the other side, and dying again. And then right as it turns off, they're on respawn again, so you can get out real easily. The problem with this strategy is they just all die at random times coming through. So you'll never be able to get out easily. Sometimes you'll get lucky, and the spawn was right, and you'll get out with a Wonder Waffle. But most of the time, you're gonna have to shoot a Wonder Waffle to get out, which is quite unsafe. So that's why I'm disregarding that strategy, even though it's just as fast as these strategies I've shown. It isn't as safe, and I think safety is very important for if you're going for very high rounds. Even though this is fastest tactics, if a strategy isn't safe, I don't think it's really worth showing. At least that's what I think. Anyways, the rest of the video will be just all the other strategies, kind of fast forwarded, just so you can see them and get your own opinions on them. Also, I wanna know about for the next couple episodes. Do you want me to show the fastest strategy, even though it probably won't actually work to high rounds? Or do you want to see the fast, safe strategy that is proven to work to high rounds? Or do you want both? Because there's a few maps that I know of that there is the fastest tactic, and then there's the fast, safe tactic. For example, on 5, you can do the strategy I've shown in the previous video, where you mostly in top floor, but you also use the basement. Or you could just use all top floor. That can work, and it is faster. The only problem is I doubt it'll ever make it to 60 plus. So what would you rather see, the fastest tactic or the fastest safe tactic? Okay, there's a few more things I want to say before I go. First off would be the numbers, the average seconds per horde. Don't get too hung up on that, since there's so much room for error, there's so many different variables that could mess up with that timing. So just take it with a grain of salt. Anyways, the last thing I want to say is please tell me down below if you like a video like this, where I really show you multiple strategies and kind of explain why I think a certain strategy is the fastest or the best or whatever. Or you just want me to pick a strategy, what I think is the best, and then show you just that. So leave down below what you'd rather see, as well as my other question about the Fastest Tactics series. So it's been 5 and 5, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and bye-bye.